Hello, 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 and welcome into another Schubert Racing video. Today we are doing the GT Garage Streamers Cup Round 2, Tier 2. We are at Dragon Trail Gardens, Reverse, and once again we have a grid start with a false start penalty. I am starting 7th, and I'm starting on the medium tires. And let's see how this race can go. We get off to a flying start here, just somehow booking it right around Richie Racers. And then we come down into the first turn, and it is kind of a mess. So we're just trying to hang on, and we're just trying to keep it clean. And I don't want to ruin my race. And once again, I don't want to ruin anybody else's race. So we're just going to try and settle in here and try and figure out how we're going to run this race. I should also mention that at some point in this race, there will be rain. And there ends up being a lot of rain. So for now, we're just trying to settle in, get our race pace, and go from there. And now here's where I can talk about the strategy for this race. It was a 10-minute qualifier where we struggled a little bit to find a gap and then struggled to really find a lap. So I started down in P7. And as for the strategy for this race, it's a 50-minute race. There will be rain involved at some point towards the end of the race. So my strategy, I was thinking, let's start on mediums. And we'll switch to the softs, run the softs until it rains. And then hopefully intermediates will be enough to get us through the rain and to the finish. So let's see how that strategy worked out. And then right here we have a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake from Juggos, and that promotes us up to P6. And we're just trying to hold on to MacGyver here, and just settling in. We're really finding our pace right now. Not really pushing too hard, but I'm also not fuel saving or tire saving. I'm just trying to get to like halfway through the race till I switch on to the softs. And then here we've cut to the start of lap 14. Honestly, it was just a lot of running, pretty much by myself. Ads has already taken his pit stop. He started on softs and made his softs last until lap 12, which was quite amazing to me. But right now we're running fourth, and I do believe we're getting ready for a pit stop. In about 2 laps, we will box. And here is our first pit stop, and actually our first big mistake. As you can see right there, we cut the pit lane line, which is going to give us a 3-second penalty. So not ideal, but we do switch on to the softs, and I only fuel up for about 10 laps, which is just about as far as I want to go on these softs. Any farther, and those softs are dead. So that's all the fuel that I put in. And right as we come out right into ads. I tried to make sure that I didn't touch them. We got pretty close, but also we didn't ruin each other's races. We were able to sneak in right behind him. So I'm very happy that I didn't ruin his race there, because with the 3-second penalty, it would have just been awful for both of our races. And for the rest of that lap, I was just trying to hang as close as I could to ads until I served my penalty, so that hopefully I could stay ahead of Farouk. But here we go, serving the penalty. And unfortunately, Farouk is going to slip right past me. But we are very close to him, and we just are going to try and hang on to Farouk for as long as we can. And here we are cutting to 2 laps later. I have hung on to the back of Farouk. We are both running soft tires. Mine are about a lap newer than his. And then Ads has switched to mediums, so he is definitely on a slower tire. So both Farouk and I are just trying to get past Ads, trying to get that track position. Hopefully, not ruin each other's races, but just get ahead before the rain comes. And here Farouk makes his move. And so now I am going to try and stick right behind Ads as best I can and try and make my move. Coming into this hairpin, I feign a move, just trying to put him off, trying to see what I can do, and we're going to stick close to him. And I think coming up right here, we're going to slip to the inside for this chicane, and we're going to try and make our move right here. There's a little bit of contact from both of us, but didn't ruin each other's races. Not the smoothest move on my part, but we get it done, and we are up into 5th place. And so throughout this lap, I could tell it was getting darker. So we switch on the weather radar, and I can see the rain coming in. So right here, I've decided that I'm gonna go ahead and pit, and we're gonna put on the intermediate tires, and then what happens next is my second big mistake. Oh no! Yep, as you can tell there, we forgot to add fuel. I did not believe we had enough to make it to the end of the race, even with the rain coming in. So yeah, I was a little sad there. And then we do end up coming out right in front of Stevie and Juggas. And here the rain has come back and it's starting to fall harder. So I decided to follow Stevie and Juggas into the pits just for a splash and dash. I'm not going to change to fresh inters or anything like that. Just trying to correct the error of not adding fuel, so that we can make it to the end of the race. So right now we're P7 and we are going to come out in P8. But a couple of the cars ahead of us have not pitted yet for wet tires. And here at the start of lap 26, we go right past Juggas into fifth place after I think pretty much everybody has stopped for wet tires. And then here is our third and final mistake. I just take a little bit too much curb there and go right into the wall. Juggas is going to come up right behind me. I'm going to try and defend for my life here. But the damage that I sustained from hitting the wall there, I'm just going too slow. And Juggas has perfect positioning, and he's able to get me at this hairpin as I try and outbreak him, but just could not. So I slot in right in between Juggas and Stevie here, and now it's just going to be a battle to the end of the race. Go! 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 Come on! And as you can see by my reaction, that finish was so close. So close. That I just couldn't believe it. I think we ended up finishing within like half a car length of Juggas. It was one hell of a race. for 50 minutes, all to come down to that last lap. I tried to make the move and just couldn't get it to stick. But great race by everybody. Great race by Juggas. And now I will show you how close it actually was. And there you go. I mean, half a car. Half a car. What a finish. But anyways, thank you for tuning in. And if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I will catch you on the next live stream or in the next video or short. Once again, thank you for joining in, and see you later.